Can see it?
Yeah, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for joining today's session. Thank you for the introduction, Gene. So he has already mentioned about me. Let me add what was not there. I am actually working for McDonald's here in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, for quite a long time now. I am originally a finance professional, later shifted my career towards business intelligence and ERP. So I also run a consulting service and consulting and training basically for in the name of Excel Fort here in Jeddah. I am the leader here for the Power BI user group for the Jeddah chapter. I'm a certified Microsoft data analyst, and you can connect with me using my LinkedIn link I've already given here, the QR code and the link. Also for Twitter, I have at Excel Fort. During my free time, I make YouTube videos on Excel, Power BI, and share it. You can visit my YouTube channel. It's in the name of Excel Fort, and there are lots of videos, mostly on Power BI. Yes, that's about me. Let's get started with the session. And today's session is about building custom page navigation panel in Power BI, right? So we are going to see how we can create user-friendly and scalable custom page navigation with Bookmark Navigator. This is a new idea that I tested and it works excellent. So I'll demonstrate it today how it works. So the demo is going to be, it's going to be a full demo heavy session. What we are going to go through in this demo is basically build a custom page navigation for a Power BI report. It includes sales and profitability analysis. So we need to have tabs for sales and profit pages. So I will show you how it's look like. So first, I will have a look at the overview of the built-in page navigator, which comes with Power BI. It was recently introduced, actually. And during my session, I will also take you through some best practices in terms of using the selection pane, the grouping of objects, and the best use cases of bookmarks for page navigator. And finally, the bookmark navigator, which I'm going to use for my page navigation today. Well, with that, let me share my Power BI file. Okay, first let's have a look at why do we need a page navigation, right? You are looking at a Power BI report which is published as an app here. So when you publish a Power BI report, you have the option to add a page navigation, which you see on the left side of my screen. So this can be minimized, hidden, and shown in this manner, right? But there are some limitations. Basically, the moment you expand it, you need to go back, click to minimize this, right? So this is one opportunity I found where I can implement in custom page navigation. The other point is, like, here I have put together a couple of reports, right? So if you take, for example, retail analysis sample, there are 4 pages in that report. But if I want to group first 2 pages together and the rest to another group, which is not possible. Not only that, if I want to keep some buttons over here or make some customizations, which is not possible right now. So this is one limitation I found in a couple of limitations that I found in this page navigation that comes with app. Also, why you need a custom page navigation is basically when you publish your report as an app, fine. But if you are going to use it as an embedded application, in an application, if you want to embed it, so you must have a page navigation in your report, right? It doesn't allow you to create as you create when you publish an app. So those are some of the reasons. And in addition to that, you may also find that you need to create based on the requirement coming from users on your case scenario, right? Fine. Now, how can we create custom page navigations? Let's have a look at the recently introduced, I mean, last quarter of 2021 Power BI team introduce a page navigator, right? Let's see what are the pros and cons of using that. So I have opened up a blank Power BI file here. So if you want to insert a page navigator to switch between pages, you have the option to go to insert under navigator. You can click navigator. There is a page navigator here. So this basically contains all the pages in your report. Currently, I have one page. Now, if you duplicate this, so I'm adding a couple of pages over here, right? So I copied first two pages. Now you see the pages have been added to my page navigation, right? Using this navigation, you can just switch to any page you want. Like, okay, you need to control click, right? It switches between different pages. So if I don't have this object page navigator in these pages, so simply I can like copy and paste it. So if I rename, let's say anything over here, say page 4, for example, so it gets reflected on the page navigator as well. And one downside is like it's going to take up your canvas space. Your report is supposed to show as much as information you want, for the user in terms of visuals. But if you have a navigation, you try to allocate minimum amount of canvas space. So this cannot be hidden. It has to stay there, right? And you have the option to, like, if you have many pages, you can even go and change the layout to vertical in this way. And use it as a vertical bookmark. So this is not synchronized with any other bookmarks. Sorry, page navigation. So you need to do individually. There is no synchronization on this. Also, the options that you have for formatting, it's limited. You cannot apply formatting for each and every button over here. So it gets applied over to the whole button set in the page navigator. So then I thought, okay, let's go and build our own custom page navigation, considering all these limitations, drawbacks that we have in these approaches. So now let me show you what we are going to build today. I have the completed version. I can show you how I have built a custom page navigation using Bookmarks Navigator. This is dynamic. Now you are looking at a Power BI report, which I have included a page navigator. So the moment you click on this hamburger icon, it opens up a page navigator over here. So I have grouped, as I mentioned, our report has two sections, a couple of pages for sales analysis, then the profit analysis. So users can easily identify where they want to go. Like if they want to see the profitability report, can click and you are in the profitability report. And again, you can switch back and forth. So it works smoothly. So this doesn't require many steps to follow. At the beginning, you need to set it up. Later, you can expand it easily. By clicking on this cover, you can close it, or even on this button, right? This way, when you build, you save a lot of space on your report. Just on the left, you have a sidebar where you can even include any buttons, for other navigation purposes. For example, going to your website or for support. So opening a filter panel. If you want to create a filter panel, you can even create it the same way I have created the page navigation, and open it through this bar. You can provide a button here for the for the launching of the filter panel, and this bar will serve you for that purpose. So this takes minimum amount of space, canvas, on your report, and it's not difficult to set it up if you follow the right way. And also, when you add any new pages to this, it gets added here. You need to just set up the bookmark, then you can immediately see the bookmarks are appearing in all the pages. Basically, you don't have to go and add individually on each and every page. So that's what we are going to build today. So let me send this away and start with a new file. I've got a blank file where I have loaded the sample data that comes with Power BI Desktop, right? We are going to build a sales and profitability report. So in this report, what I have done already is set up my theme according to my preference. If you have your own theme for your corporate or for your personal, you can go and modify or import it. It's a JSON file. Uh, what I have done, I went to customize this theme, then change the colors according to my preference. Then again, the text size for the title, cards and KPIs, everything is adjusted according to what I want, right? Now, once I have done this, my file is ready. And then you go and plan how many like pages you need for your report. And according to that, you can build your page navigation. So to build the page navigation, the one I showed you before, the first step is to make sure you go and insert the sidebar. We start with just one page. Later, we can copy paste this page and create the other, right? So let me build the first page. Let's call it, let's say I'm going to have a couple of sales analysis pages. I can give it as sales analysis 1. So this is the first report I'm going to build, first page. To get the sidebar over here, what I can do, under insert, you can use a shape and adjust it nicely. And we'll go and change the color to white. And I'll set the border to something lighter. Yeah, this looks perfect. Next, we need an icon to indicate that users can click here and launch their navigation panel. What I've done, I have added an image with a hamburger sign. Let me go and get that. It's in PNG format. So once you get it, the first thing you need to do is change the scaling of this. In the properties, you can change it to fill. So once you've done that, you have your hamburger icon. I can move it over here. Oh, I have my sidebar, then the button to launch. Then what else I need? Maybe you want to include other buttons, like I mentioned before, right? Let's say you want to include a help button, where it will take you to a website or a link for support, right? So I can, if you want to change the width of this line, you can just go to style. Under icon, you have this weight, change the weight to something like 2. This looks good for me. I can drag and drop it over here, right? So now this is all part of this sidebar. Later, I'll show you how to group these things together. So now I have this. Now, once the user clicks on this, then I need to open a panel. That's where I have all the page references. For that, I can copy the one I already have. Then let me expand this. Yeah, good. Now, when I have this panel over here, I need to indicate what it is. So for that, let me go and add some text over there. So let me say this is navigation. Leave some space between characters so it looks nice. change it to semi-bold and something over here. I can increase the font size. And I want to push it to the top of it without including an additional text box over here. I can use the same object. So let me push it all the way up and increase the padding to, let's say, 30. Okay, I kept it at 40. So let me bring this up a little so it stays there. So this is my navigation panel. Now, once the user opens this, he should be able to close it. Let's provide a button, right? I'll go and click a back button. And I can change the width as well for this. Let's keep it at 2. So this button will allow the user to close the panel, right? I can even place it right here to be visible. Cool. Now, once the user opens the panel, he will see objects on the canvas, right? Now, what I need is these objects to be sort of covered with something so that users will not fiddle with that. Let me insert a visual for the time being. Let's say you have a chart over here. Let's add some data. Let's make it a line chart. Fine. So once the user opens this panel, then it should be covered, right? For that, let me take a copy of this shape and place it right on top of that. And to give a transparency to some degree, let me adjust under style. I can go choose the fill to black and increase the transparency. So user will see that the objects underneath, right? So this button that I have added here will also serve as a close button. Let me demonstrate that when I create the bookmark, right? Now, I have created the objects that I need for my panel, right? This is my navigation panel. The second most important thing is naming and grouping objects on your canvas. So it will help you in the long run when you want to expand or improve your project. Later, if you want to work with it, it will be easy when you name and group these objects. How do you group these objects? You can click on Weave and click Selection. Under Selection, you see all these objects on my canvas. They have names, similar names, but there are no name. We need to rename them to make sure they're meaningful for us. So the first one we have here is this is the one I have on the left. Let me double click and say sidebar. Right. And then this is my panel. I can rename it as panel. Then the image, the one I have here, that's the menu. Then this is the close button over here. I can name it close. And this one is I can call as cover. And this is my visual, right? Now, whenever I change, for example, here, this is the title basically we are modifying, right? Let's say sales trend. Now you see it says sales by date. The moment I enter, the title gets changed. That's because title is linked to the name here. So if you want to rename objects or title for your visuals, you can directly do it over here. Now, we have name everything we have here. This is the sidebar menu button. This button is, let's call it help, right? Now we can group these objects together. This menu, the help button and the sidebar together, we can group it. I have selected 3 objects. You can right click and group them. So this group has 3 elements. I can double click and rename it to say sidebar. Fine. Then we have the panel. The panel has the button, the side panel, and the cover. So there are 3 objects. You can even press Ctrl G to group without using the mouse. So this I will name it as panel. This is my visual over here. So I have the panel, I have the sidebar, right? So the idea here is to make the visibility, toggle the visibility of the panel. When I hide the panel, so this is what you get. It's a closed state. So when you open it, you get the option to see the panel, and we can add the buttons page navigator later to navigate it to other pages. Now you see, once I open, you have this object over here. User cannot click on anything. If you see the order of layering here, if I bring it all the way to the top, it's very important to note the order, right? So sales trend visual is right on top of it. So if I close it, this is fine, but make it visible, the panel, it sits right on top of it. So it's very important you keep the layering at the right level. So this has to go down. Okay. Well, now we have done the page, the panel that we need for the page navigation. Let's see what's next. Next step is to change the toggle status of this visibility. We need to create bookmarks. Now that I have created panels, it's easy for me to add bookmarks on the grouping. So one tip I can give you is never create bookmarks on individual objects, right? It's better you group them and create the bookmark on the group, selecting the group, so that whenever you add objects, let's say within this panel, if you want to add another button over here, then you can just drag and drop inside this. You don't have to adjust your bookmark. That takes care of it. So to add the bookmark, let me go and click on V when under bookmarks. Now this is closed status. Let me open it. I'm going to select the panel group and add a bookmark. So this is basically the open status of my page 1, right? Sales analysis 1. I can say this bookmark, I can call it sales analysis 1. This is the open status, right? Now, once you have created it, you can right click and adjust the properties. Why these properties are important? Because that decides what is considered in the bookmark, what is being recorded, right? You have control over that. I don't want any data related, anything from the data or the data model to be recorded here. I can untick. I want to record only the selected visuals. Currently, I have selected on, I have placed my, I have put my selection over here on the panel. I just want to capture only that, so I will choose selected visual. So finally, we are left with display, current page, and selected visual. So current page, what current page does is it records the bookmark on this page, right? Whenever you execute this bookmark, even from another page, it has to come to this particular page, then execute it. That's why we choose current page, right? There are situations where you need to untick this so that you can execute from another page as well. And one thing you should note is that bookmarks are not individually, assigned to a particular page where it's created. It's global. Even if you go to another page, for example, you still see this bookmark coming up here, right? Let me delete this page that I created and go back to the first page. So I have display, current page, and selected visual ticked. Now let me update this. Sorry, I need to click on the panel and make sure it's selected and click update. Now this is my close status. What is the next one? Next one is the, sorry, this is the open status. Now I need to record one more bookmark for the closed status of the panel. So I can click on this image and make it invisible here. Now let me create another one. Right. In this case, let me call this the same name as the page, sales analysis 1. I will later show you why it's important to name it as per the page name, right? This is sales analysis 1. I name it the same way. The options are going to be same, like I need to remove data, click on selected visuals. So we have display, current page, and selected visual. Let me update it, right? Now, if you toggle, you have open, close is done. Okay. Now, how are we going to use this? Before we go ahead, I want to show you that like we grouped selection in the selection pane, all the objects on the canvas, we can also group the bookmarks. Grouping bookmarks is important for us as we are going to use the bookmark navigator. Let me show you one thing before I group. Now, if I want to, okay, let's first go ahead and assign the bookmarks for the buttons. Then I'll come back to that. So when I click this button, what I want what I want it to do is to open up my panel, right? You can select on this, select that icon menu under action, choose turn it on and choose bookmark. Then I'm going to select the open sales analysis open bookmark, right? So when you click, it opens. But how do you close that? There is no button. So first thing is this close button has to be assigned to action under bookmark. Then let's go and pick sales analysis 1. Sales analysis 1 has the closed status as you saw before, right? And also this button, when user clicks somewhere, it has to close the panel. I can go and turn this on, action, under bookmark, then we choose analysis 1. Now, if you click on this, closes, opens, close. Okay. Now we have done what we want here to open and close the panel, right? But the most important thing is adding the buttons over here to navigate to other pages. So let's create a page navigator to navigate to other pages. Sorry, bookmark navigator. Let me go and insert. Under insert, you will find under buttons, navigator, bookmark navigator. You say I wanted only one bookmark to be visible here, right? Which is the sales analysis 1, but I see both, right? Let me go back to the format navigator pane here. Under bookmark, you don't have the option to individually select any particular bookmark here. That's because it's asking for a group, bookmark group. So that's the reason I said we need to group this. So I can leave, I don't need the open bookmark over here. I need only this close bookmark, right? I can right click and group it. So this is for sales. Since we have sales and profitability reports, this is for sales. So let me call it as. Okay. Now, if you go and select your bookmark navigator, go back to the bookmarks assignment. Now you get the group. Now you get only one button over here in the bookmark navigator. Since we have, okay, let me open the selection pane. Now you see the bookmark navigator I created is sitting right on top of that. So if I open it, it's there. But when I close it, still there. It doesn't, it is not, we need to include it within the panel. So now it's a matter of dragging this and dropping inside the panel group, right? You can open this and click and close it. Let's get into the formatting later. Now the first thing is we need to rename this. So this is bookmark navigator. Let's say sales. Fine. Now, this button, we need to apply some formatting to make it look nicer. We can quickly do that. Let me go and take the shape. Let's take the shape of pill. And let's say the grid layout, I need to change it to grid so that I can specify the number of rows and columns. So in this case, rows, let's say we are going to have about 9 pages in this report for sales, and column, it's going to be just 1. Right. So padding, let's keep it minimum so that the space between each button is going to be smaller, right? So we can keep it at this level. Fine. Now, with regards to the formatting, I have chosen the pill. Then let's go to the style section. So this is the default, and we've got default, hover, press, and selected. We are going to change for, let's say, selected. Currently, this is selected. When it is selected, I just want this to have, okay, 10, and the font will be white. Let's take the fill to blue. And let me remove the borders. So this is going to be my but look of the button over here, right? And similarly, if the default weave, when it is not selected, I'm going to apply the same thing. It's 10, font is going to be white, and the fill is the color that I selected before, right? Okay. Fine. Now I need to give a heading to this so that users can identify these are like sales related. Let me go to title, turn on title. Let me say this as sales. Can change the font to let's take it as light. Let's put it in the middle. So this is okay. This is sales. Some space. So this is my sales navigation. So this, when you click on that, it has the closed status assigned to that bookmark, right? Now, what I need is, I have created one for the sales pages. So I need to create another one for uh, profit analysis pages. Now it's a matter of like copying it. You can right click and duplicate. We have built the base. It's a matter of only creating the bookmarks now. So let's rename this to profit analysis one, this page. Now on this page, all the objects have been copied and I don't need to do anything over here. The only thing is the bookmark, right? So what I need in this, the panel is open status over here in this page. I can add a bookmark. Let's call it profit analysis 1, and this is the open status, so I can say this is open. Let me bring it up. The options are like I can remove data and select the visuals and update it. So this is the open status for this. And also I need to create the close status. It's a matter of like hiding this. Select again, make sure the panel is selected. Now you go and add a bookmark. This is profit analysis. Right click and remove data and select selected visuals. So you have 3 options selected. Now this again, we need to assign it to a bookmarks. I can go and group it. Let's call it profit This is another group. So I can open and close. So this works. Now in this page, when you open, you don't, it's assigned to the previous bookmark. I need to go back here, select this. You need to assign the new bookmark that we created for this particular button. So under action, we'll say profit analysis open. Opens here. Now I can select the bookmark. Let's call it, now we need the close status. So that is the profit analysis. Even for this button, I can choose profit analysis. Let's see if it works as expected. Yes, it opens and closes. Now we look at the sales analysis over here. What we can do for profit, I can copy and paste the same bookmark navigator over here. Now I have sales up, then I have the profit below. I'm going to include this within the, I'm going to rename this first. Let's call it profit. You can rename it in the title or from the selection pane. Profit. I can drag and drop it right inside the panel. So this is within the panel now. But this is still pointing to the bookmark group, which I created for sales analysis, if you see. So now you can go and choose profit. Now you have the profit analysis tab is selected over here. So you need to first create for each group. So I have two groups. One is for sales pages. The other one is for profit. I have created one, and make sure you copy this bookmark to the sales as well. Let me go and paste it over here. Yeah, and I can bring it inside. So in both the pages, I have the profit analysis. Now, if you close this, it closes. You can now go to the profit analysis over here. So now you land in the profit analysis one page. Since I have assigned the closed bookmark, now when you land here, you see the panel closed. Otherwise, you don't have to. You'll have to go and close it manually. Here, you can just directly land on the page. You will see your visuals. So you can switch to sales analysis one, and now this works. If you have many groups, you can stack them over here. Similarly, you can use this technique for any other purposes like filter panel. You can put all your filters similarly that what I have done here and give a button. It's the same technique. Now you must be wondering, okay, if you want to add another page for different sales analysis, how difficult or how easy it is? It's simple. Now let me go and create a copy of the sales analysis. Let me bring it in. Okay, it's in the middle. Now I can say this one is the sales analysis 2, right? The second page. Like I mentioned before, we only need to create the bookmarks and assign it, right? Let's quickly create for this one. I have the panel. I can select this and unhide. So make sure this is selected, the panel on sales analysis 2. Now you go and add a bookmark for the open status, which will be sales analysis 2. Again, the options will be no data and only selected visuals, and go and update and put it right on the top. Let me add open at the end so that we won't confuse with other bookmarks. Okay, this is the open status. And now we need one more for the closed. For that, I can hide this, select it, create another bookmark. Let me call this sales analysis 2. Again, the options are going to be same throughout. So I have display current page and selected visuals. I click update. Now let me test it. This is the open and close. When you open, you don't see the sales analysis 2 as a button in your bookmark navigator to navigate, right? On any of the pages. But look at this, when you go and include it within the group, you can drag and drop it. Now you see immediately the buttons are appearing over here, right? So this way, it's easy for you to add it as a bookmark and using the bookmark navigator for your page navigation. Now, once I have added, this is fine. The only thing is I just need to assign the right bookmark for this. So it's a matter of under action, bookmark, we will say sales analysis 2 open. For this button over here, I'm going to say sales analysis 2 and here sales analysis 2. So I can close this using the buttons, right? I can switch to OK profitability. Even there you will find these buttons. So now, so any development, any visualization you are doing now, you can do it over here, right? It's apart from your let me open the selection pane again and just show you. What you need is for your navigation just two groups. One is the panel, the other one is the sidebar. That's it. And any visuals you add here, you can have it comfortably. Make sure it's always down. So if you want to, I always advise, group everything together. Even if you have a visual here, you can group it. But if you have a single visual, you won't be able to group it. So I will just show you a small trick. If you want to group it, just add a shape somewhere, select both these objects, and you can press Ctrl G to group, right? This group has to come down because our panel and sidebar has to be always on top. Now you can get rid of the shape.
I have a query on this.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so the panel size that we have now for the whole canvas that I had earlier before creating this navigation bar,
Yeah,
right? Now, if I have this navigation bar, which means out of the canvas, let's say it is 580 pixel, I'm
yeah,
almost assigning 100 pixel to the navigation and that little hamburger, right?
yes.
So that space out of canvas is always blocked.
See,
Is it a way to make it responsive that whenever the navigation is hidden, the other pages becomes bigger, and whenever
okay.
the navigation comes up and then it squeezes like a responsive page?
Yeah, good question. Let me reply to that. See, why I put a vertical bar over here is to include other buttons as well for my other purposes, navigations. But if you want, you can just keep it, you can remove the panel over here. You can keep only the icon in the top, right? You can use the whole space over here. You don't need actually this piece, you don't need it. You can just keep this button. You only need this button over here to launch the navigation panel.
Navigation.
Yes.
Basically, my question was more about the navigation. So even the button is hardly taking any space. It is a tiny icon, but
Yeah,
the
you can leave only
navigation
the button.
itself.
Yeah, but
But the
navigation when you
navigation, yeah. So once stay here, stay here. So once I
yeah
click the navigation,
yes
my underneath panel, if I cannot see the report, right? Because my navigation has taken space.
yeah
So is
okay
it a way that that uh, canvas now squeezes to adjust in whatever is the, so if I have like say six visuals in it, and
mm-hmm.
those six visuals squeezes whenever the navigation opens. Is there a way?
You need to push these visuals to the side so that
Exactly,
yeah,
you got it.
no, there is
Yes.
you cannot achieve that. The idea is this. I got your point. Whenever it opens, it has to push like it does in the app navigation. So here it's not possible. But the thing is, like, let's say you are on this page, you are looking at some visuals, some analysis. Why you are going here is to switch to another page. So the moment you click on this, your idea is to like go and click on any page over here, right? Button to go to another page. So that's the idea. Like, we just open it on top of the existing visuals.
Uh, I get it, but actually, I've seen my users' behavior, and once they open the navigation,
Yeah.
they they never close it. Like
No.
in the app also, the
Uh-huh.
Power BI app.
Yeah.
Once it is there, it is there. So they can even see the page bigger, but they don't try to.
Okay, I'll tell you the solution. That problem is there in the, I will just show you again. In the app, you see my screen, right? Here they open this way and they start analyzing the numbers, right? They leave this open so that they get a smaller space. That's your point, right?
Yeah, that is the behavior. And
Yeah,
if you see, whenever you close it,
yeah,
the panel expands, right? Take the
yeah.
full size. The same
Yes.
thing is not achievable. That's what I hear, that it is not achievable in
Yeah.
the way we are
That,
doing right now.
yes, that's not achievable. But one good thing here is like users will not be able to interact with anything on the canvas unless they close it, right? They have to click on this.
Ah,
So they
got
are,
it. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah. So yes, I will get back to more questions. The last part I am here in, like, for example, I was showing, it's better to group things on the canvas itself. If you have a single a visual, you can add another object and group and remove it. So you're left with it. So this you can group it like, for example, info, right? So any visual you add here, let's say you need another chart, and then again that chart is added here. Let me see. It's it's in the info. Yeah, because I created another group. Let me. Okay, let's say I have another chart over here, and now you can simply drag and drop it within the info, right? So it's easy as that. So yes. So with this, I have come to an end. Any questions? Any more questions? Please feel free to ask.